What is up guys, Kane here. In this video I would like to talk a little about the HP percent damage stat, because most likely quite a few people don't yet understand how this works, and are confused in some conversations when it comes to discussing about it. So I'm sure there's quite a few people also not really understanding how it works or how overpowered it is. There are many units that have this damage stat in their skills. However, Devil and Evil Sorceress for me are really the only ones that I have improved to be able to use as an example. Judicator's Domain and Troll's Domain you can use as an example for yourself as well, because I am sure many of you have them on your own servers and know how much damage their domains can do. So we will start with the Devil's Withering. The description on it says it will do 1.25 HP percent damage, but if he is under Xeron, that number turns to 2.5% HP damage on burning targets. So that will be what we will be testing and showing you now. Before that, I will remove the fourth effect of the assassin emblems, the penetration and the crit, to show the example of what the emblem does to HP percent damages. I have placed my units so you can see the damage. Most of these have emblems and are highly developed. So it's not just some weaklings on my field getting eaten alive. And as you can see, the 2.5% damage is performing a lot more than it actually should, and for some reason we can just notice that some of this damage has been dodged. That's a new bug that I have just seen today. I checked previous videos and I did not find the wither being dodged. So either this is a shadow nerf or a bug in an update. May not affect a lot of the damage, but well, at least some of it. Anyways, placing the fourth assassin emblem on the devil and performing the exact same test, and the damage skyrockets to the point it doubles or even triples on some units. Now, one of the things here, it can be that 240 penetration removes 240 flat defense of a unit and scales the damage even higher, since defense is a number that perhaps turns to some percentages, which then reduces all of the incoming damage or something along those lines. I am unsure how it's calculated, but for some units like Troll and Evil Sorceress and etc., the domain even severely damages the tanks if he has this assassin emblem. So more or less we can assume that the assassin emblem pretty much triples or quadruples the HP percent damage that the Devil's Withering does. It was just some rough numbers. Now moving those emblems to Evil Sorceress, performing the exact same test, but I am not at the moment checking the initial Spellbreaker, because it is bugged or capped and it is not performing as it should. However, I will be testing that one single Spellbreaker that appears during the spawn of the domain. Without Assassin Emblem Forset, she is able to get a couple of units pretty low, but not kill them. When I put on the Assassin Emblem, she is able to one-shot units at random. I will show only one replay or two, and if you can look at the HP bars, she's pretty much able to kill 2 or 3 at minimum. This is what I would like to call the domain triggered Spellbreaker, and you should remember this naming because you will get confused in the future. We're moving on to testing the hero triggered Spellbreaker. When enemy casts a spell, a unit takes damage from Evil Sorceress Spellbreaker, but this damage is severely capped. You can see that the 6.5% HP damage from her hero triggered Spellbreaker is doing pretty much exactly the same damage as my Devil's Withering, which is 2.5% HP damage. Keep in mind that she has more unit damage percent than Devil, considering the skills and the buffs she has, but her damage is the same as even half of what other units have in their HP percent damage skills, and that is where it is capped. If this skill was uncapped, per every hero spell, all enemy units would take about 20% HP damage, more or less, and a bit less on tanks because they are very tanky, you know. Considering the scaling of some units that are UR, perhaps even more than 20%. Now, I am not saying or flaming anyone or whatever, but if a unit is advertised to do HP percent damage, and all units in the game have this HP percent damage scaled by literally everything, what is the point of capping one unit from its damage? It doesn't matter that the unit is doing high damage from domain, it doesn't matter that at 6 star she is usable, it doesn't matter that she will be broken, because it is not the unit's problem that they made this HP percent damage stat insanely overpowered. Now, if the game turns to HP percent damage fiesta, then they would actually work around to make this damage capped and it dealing true damage, which means it cannot go below that percent and it will always do that exact percent. Like if you would have Troll's Domain that does 15% HP damage, it will do 15% and not more or less. And that is my point, why some HP percent stats of other units are fine and not capped, and the unit who can completely break the game yet gets capped and no one gets compensated because they did not inform others that they were capping such a unit. If all other HP percent damages are broken and one unit's HP percent damage isn't broken, then it is either a bug or it is capped, which means it was advertised wrongly and needs to be adjusted, whether in the description of the unit or announcement to the community or whatever. As silly as it sounds, Evil Sorceress has become the same trap as Solmir right now. You think, oh wow, HP percent damage is overpowered and Solmir has this number and it will be crazy bonkers. And then people spend that and they can even spend 1 grand just to get her like 4 or 5 stars and not performing even at 20% of that of a 6 star because the main damaging skill is capped. That's pretty much how I feel like right now. The HP percent damage stat is so powerful as a stat that can get scaled by so many things that they have to handicap particular units. I would be more happy if again this stat would be hard capped and made as true damage, the same way as backup one with the freeze, and then there would be no issues and the game would actually be pretty interesting to play. Now, I am not exactly sure if it's just a short meta or whatever of these HP percent damages, and I'm pretty much sure you can expect some future units to be handicapped the same way, because some of their numbers have like 30%, 40% or whatever, and it doesn't look good in my own eyes. Anyways, that's pretty much it for the video. What do you guys think? Do you want this game to become the HP percent damage meta, or do you want this to become the same as the backup skill and just be true damage with no scaling? Let me know in the comments down below. Thanks for watching and stay safe.